Welcome to you all. This is what I did today. I played Mordheim, which is a really old game, and I've talked about it before. Well, really old, it's like 20 years old. But for some reason, Games Workshop just kind of shelved it and let it die on the vine. But it's gotten a whole bunch of like community attention and stuff, and the developer has all the rules available on his website, like on a wiki, basically. We just kind of randomly picked that up, my friend and I here, whose hands you can see moving stuff around. But yeah, it's just like a small, like little skirmish game, and you know, it's not on the scale of it's like classic Warhammer, so it's fantasy based, but it's not on the scale of Warhammer 40,000. I just used some of my 40k models for this, so we could, you know, play a game and have reasonably painted models to do it with. Yeah, it's quick. It's, you know, like 45 minutes to a game, and there's a little bit of like RPG element to it where, you know, all of your dudes level up and you can find stuff. Sometimes your guys get injured. You know, sometimes they even die, but, you know, kind of a hardcore RPG element to it. So it's a really fun game. I'm glad we revisited it. But yeah, I've played this a few times, but I figured I'd actually document that at this point. It's video proof, or at least photographic proof of what we've been doing. This was Carnival of Chaos, which is Nurgle, if you're familiar with the Warhammer universe, versus Undead. I'm gonna go kill the Eradicator. So I've been holding off on this map because I found this kind of in the middle of level 92, and I do not know if this area contains 2 unique bosses. You don't know how to say this? What are you gonna say? But what do you have to say, Cockroach Princess? What's up, man? Thank you for joining. Oh, don't leave me hanging, man. Come on. Don't leave me hanging. Oh, first acceptance. Man, that was fast. That was fast, dude. Good for you. Holy shit, man. If I had a stream deck with like air horns and shit, I would be bashing that thing right now. This stream would be 100% unwatchable because of all the fucking noise going on. Here, hang on. Ah! Congratulations, dude. Where's the acceptance? Where are you going? Or where do you have the potential of going, I should say. Maybe more acceptances are in your future, your very near future. Yeah, man, you should be happy. I remember that feeling. It feels real good. I sense that rolling this map may have been a mistake, because I saw this mod here. Monsters fire 2 additional projectiles. That might be a real big problem when I go fight the Eradicator. / Eradicators. Might be more than one. We'll need detailed Thanksgiving plans from everybody here eventually, but I'm always very interested in what people cook / have for their Thanksgiving meals and like what they do. It seems like everybody's got like their own little traditions and stuff. Get stoned, eat some Cornish hens. Hell yeah, yeah. Cornish hens are definitely way superior to turkey. I'm into that. I agree. But I still cook a turkey anyway. Having fried chicken, interesting. Okay. That sounds like you're having a traditional Southern South Carolina meal, and that is fucking fantastic. Because that's what I grew up with. My grandma was from like small town Oklahoma outside of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Like, you know, when your point of reference is Fort Smith, Arkansas, you know that you're in a really small ass place. Like, she was a great cook, man. Holy shit, she was a good cook, and she always made Thanksgiving dinner. And it was all that stuff, you know? It's like dumplings and turkey and green beans with a shitload of bacon in them, and oh, man, I'm just making myself hungry thinking about it. Pumpkin pie, pecan pie, all the deliciousness. So I am 100% behind that. She made a killer fried chicken, too. Yeah, COVID is bad. COVID's real bad here. I think the county that my hospital is in is like 40. It's less than 50% vaccinated. So there, you know, if there's gonna be an outbreak, that's a pretty high intensity sort of location for that. So folks, for those of you who came in late, the Cockroach Princess regaled us with a tale of a successful interview invite. That is to say, he is now accepted to med school. Long time coming, absolutely. And he was mentioning that he like just massively bombed the interview. Like, yeah, I don't know about that. They did accept you in 2 days. They accepted you 2 fucking days later. You're like, man, this guy fucking sucks. We need him. But yeah, so Thanksgiving here, we actually just sort of nailed down the details. I will be smoking a turkey, and we are making sweet potatoes, green beans, and what else? Shit, what else did we talk about? Oh yeah, stuffing. Yeah, my parents are gonna make mashed potatoes and bring bread of some kind, whether it's biscuits or rolls, I don't know. But we're also going to go to Costco to buy pies because goddamn, Costco pies are amazing. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, man, I feel like turkey's kind of a throwaway meat. Like, it's super dry, there's not a lot of flavor. It's like super hard to cook, right? It's really, really difficult to cook well. Yeah, when Hellfather was saying, you know, Cornish game hens, man, Cornish hens are way better. Like, more flavor, easier to cook. It's just, like, better all around. Chicken is also so much better, I agree. Chicken is pretty challenging to cook, too, though. In my opinion. Oh, God. Tofurkey? Oh, no. No, man. No. Don't do that. Spatchcock the hens and brine them? Yeah, I bet that turns out really well. Like, I have never spatchcocked a turkey, but I hear it's awesome. Like, that's the tits. That's the way to do it. Oh, and then you fry it? Oh, okay. So you'd fry the hens, huh? Okay. Man, I need to get a fryer, dude. I've wanted to fry a turkey for so long. It seems like a cheat code to making a decent turkey, honestly. Wow, this guy just, like, shits bullets, huh? Okay. Guess I'm glad I did this before or after I leveled. So I've actually had a fair amount of luck putting bacon under the skin. Like, just a bunch of bacon. Like 4 strips per side. And it's a cheat code, dude, because it's, like, based. Yeah, well, it's like a constant based, man. Yeah, I based it too, though. People in my safety bacon, you leave my safety bacon alone, man. Safety bacon is delicious. And also, I don't want to pay that much attention to it, quite frankly. Oh, Cockroach Princess redeemed a free copy of Path of Exile. Thanks for watching so much of my stream, man. I really appreciate that. And for that, I will purchase you a copy of Path of Exile. Which, in case anybody doesn't get the joke, it's free. It's a free game. I'm really not that cool. I'm not that cool at all. Yeah, so I think about this every time I think about like marijuana getting legalized and stuff. I think about one of my friends who I believe is invested in this company. There was a company in Canada that's doing something called aeroponics, which basically is like hydroponics, except for they like mist to the roots and the plants are like stacked. So it's like really space efficient because instead of just like taking up these giant ass troughs, they're like, you know, layers and layers and layers on top of each other. And apparently like the yield is way better and it's much easier. And, you know, basically it's just like all around way fucking better than everything else that people are doing to grow weed. So, he was like, dude, you want to look into this company? And at that point, I think I had just started, like I just finished residency. So I had zero money and was like, all my debts were coming due and stuff. And, you know, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing anyway. And then like 3 months after he said that, I think Canada, like, legalized weed. It's like, no! Fuck! Why? I could have just dumped my entire life savings into this company and been so much better off. Maybe quit. Maybe could have quit my job immediately after getting it. That would have been great. Yeah, once that's legal here, like, my wife and I... Oh, my God. You guys have never heard this story. So, my wife and I went to Denver. She was not my wife at the time. So we went to Colorado. Her brother was stationed there. So we went out there. My aunt lives in, like, just outside of Denver. So we were like, oh, okay, cool. You know, we'll take a trip out there. And, like, flying there from Kansas City is, like, you know, it's like $120 or something. It's really cheap. And it's like a 1-hour flight. So we were poor, so that seemed like a good plan. So we were loaded up, went out there. And we were like, you know, we're gonna go, like, get some edibles, go have this, like, giant-ass lunch, There's a like Italian kind of chain place called Maggiano's, and they actually have really good food. But we're like, yeah, we're gonna go get some Maggiano's, like chill out, get the munchies. It's gonna be fucking great. So we go get some edibles and like have this really weird experience going to the head shop, and like, you know, the guy we talked to is just like absolutely blazed out of his mind, which is, you know, I guess to be expected, but he's like, this one's the one that, like, you know, it's like talking to frickin' Cheech. This is the one you take if you, like, want to get stuff done, man. Like, okay. Cool. We did that, and we went to this, like, coffee shop, and we're just kind of chilling out, and, you know, enjoyed an edible, and I was like, man, this tastes, like, super strong. Like, you know, we open our bag, and there's, like, you know, pull out a, like, it's kind of like a Tootsie Roll thing. I was like, man, this is not good. It tastes terrible. And my wife's like, eat the whole thing, don't be a pussy. And I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Some peer pressure from the wife. So I did. And we were like, you know, chilling, had a cup of coffee, and then kind of walked down the street. I think Maggiano's was like 3 blocks away. So we're walking through downtown Denver, and she's like, you know, I feel pretty high right now. Like, how are you feeling? I was like, yeah, you know, I'm all right. I'm good. No problem. No problem yet. And, so we're like, you know, kind of walking along, and like we get to the restaurant, and I was like, oh man, like I'm pretty high now. And she's like, kind of starting to like freak out a little bit. She's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And so she like gets up, and like somehow, I don't know what happened because I wasn't paying attention to her, but like she gets up and there's this dude that's like right next to her, like waiting for the bathroom, because the bathroom was like right by the entrance. And she just like turns around and like coughs right in this dude's face. And she's like, I'm sorry. And like goes to the bathroom, comes back. But so she sits down, and like at this point, like I'm so high, like I have no depth perception. Like I was like trying to like reach for my water, and I was like, like, where is it? And, like, we're, so we had just ordered, like, before she went to the bathroom, and so we get our server, and we're like, we have to get our food to go. I'm sorry, we've got to go right now. And so we get out, and we go sit in the parking garage, like, sit in our car in the parking garage, and we're just like, oh my god, we're so high, this is terrible. So she gets out to, like, walk around. And, you know, I'm like, I'd actually never been high at that point. And so I was like, this is really bad. Like, why are we this high? Like, this sucks. So she's like walking around and, you know, like texting people on her phone and stuff, and like trying to kind of like organize the day and like keep herself calm, basically, and like not paranoid. And so I look at the bag, and there's nothing left in the bag, and I was like, oh fuck. This is the bag of edibles. And so I read it, and each like edible was 10 milligrams of THC, but each Tootsie Roll was 10 hits. It was 10 servings, so we each took 100 milligrams of THC, and we were like, that's bad. That's real bad. So we were like, okay, that's gonna last forever. Yeah, so we're sitting in the car, and like I'm sitting there like with the worst case of dry mouth ever, like, you know, trying to like swallow my own spit for like, you know, some sort of relief, and it's just like not happening. And so she's still outside, like kind of meandering around, and she was like, I'll be right back, and like walks away, and I'm sitting there just like miserable, you know, being a useless high mess. Is that the move, swallow spit? That was my move at the time. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I had no idea. But she comes back, and I was like, where'd you go? And she was like, I had to poop. It's like, you had to poop? We're in a parking garage. What did you wipe with? And she was like, I wiped with my panties and I left them. And I was like, huh? She went over to this like minivan, and It's like this family van and just like took a crap on the parking garage floor. And then like and then we were trying to get like, we just totally scrapped the plans of like meeting my aunt because we're high as shit. And then like we couldn't afford a hotel. Like she wanted to go get a hotel room and I was like, no, we can't do this because like we stayed at this like Priceline room, you know, that's normally like $400 and we got it for like 100 and we were poor as hell. So what conversation did you walk into? An awesome one. A fantastic one. And so like I'm just useless. I'm 100% useless. And like we're getting ready to drive to Colorado Springs, which is, in case you don't know, is like over an hour outside of Denver, like more like an hour and a half. So this is a fucking stupid plan, right? To get to her brother's house. And so we go to this like gas station, I think, or like a, you know, general store or some shit. I don't even remember what it was. I was so out of it. But like her phone was dying and we needed directions. So we go there and she's like, I need an iPhone charger. And she goes in the store and comes out with like a dozen chargers. She's like, they had a ton of chargers and I didn't know which one was an iPhone charger. So I just bought all of these. And none of them was an iPhone charger. Not one. Not one of the 12 chargers she brought out. It's like a whole fucking bag of chargers. And, you know, meanwhile, I'm still useless. I'm sitting in the car like, just like a burden, making this whole situation way worse. And so she like sacks up like in this amazing like Herculean effort of focus and like, you know, testicular fortitude, like sacks up and drives all the way to Colorado Springs while just blazingly high. And like, of course, we have to drop off our rental car at the airport, which was undergoing all of this construction. So there's like cones and shit everywhere, like rerouting you. And so we ended up like circling the airport like 4 times and we had to pay the toll to get in there each time. And I'm sure the people at the toll booth were like, what the fuck are these people doing? Why are you here? Why do you keep circling this place? But yeah, finally her sister-in-law came and picked us up and was like super happy to see us and like cheery and stuff. And she was like, hey guys, did you know there's lots of breweries around here? You want to go to a brewery? And we're like, no, absolutely not. We want to go and stare into space and get out of this hell that we've created for ourselves. So we like ruined her night because we were just like stupid high and couldn't do anything. But yeah, 100% props to my wife for like managing to like deliver us from that situation and get us to Colorado Springs, and for pooping in a parking garage. Oh yeah, so I guess I should finish that story off. So her brother and sister-in-law have what is, I'm pretty sure, the world's most uncomfortable bed. So it's like unbelievably soft and like, so and it's got a like real rigid kind of like high frame. So, and really, really loose springs. So when you sit on it, like, you just roll to the middle. So we just wanted to, like, not be touched and just be high and miserable by ourselves, you know? So we're, like, sitting on this bed and there's just, like, no way to not, like, be smashed up against each other in this. And it's a double bed, too. So it's, like, kind of small for 2 people to begin with. And then, like, you sink into the middle and just have no chance to do anything other than just like be there on top of each other. And so like we slept really terribly, and then the next morning we went into Colorado Springs and we're still like super high, and went to this place that's like famous for their like gigantic portions basically, and we ordered the biggest thing on the menu and both of us ate the entire thing. I mean, it was probably like legitimately 3+ pounds of food. So we're like, but at that point we were like pleasantly high. We were very high, but you know, it was like an enjoyable ride. You know, no random poops to be had. Oh, so I had a really weird experience on call the other day. Usually where I stay is the OB ward, because typically if we get called, it's that. I stay there and there's like a call room in the OB ward. So like if I get called, I just like walk down the hall and sleepily, you know, handle it, place an epidural and go back to bed. Like no big deal. So I tried to do that, and the power was out in the, like, you know, the call room, and the rest of the hospital was, like running on generator power. And for me, that's a problem because I sleep with a CPAP because this is not helping me. That does not help me breathe. So I have really like mild sleep apnea basically. So I was like, well, shit, that's not gonna work. So I call, like, there's other physician sleep rooms, which I've never actually used before. And, so I, you know, called the, like, house supervisor, which is, like, who controls all that stuff, like, where, you know, people go for beds and whatnot. And, like, get a key to this room. And it's in a part of the hospital that is literally uninhabited. There's nothing there. Like, there's not another person in this entire wing. And it's like quiet, you know, usually you have like, there's air handlers and there's beeps and people walking around and like, you know, beds going back and forth. There's like, hospital's a really busy place, right? And so I just go to this, you know, area of the hospital. There's literally nobody there at all. Not in the rooms, not sitting out at the, you know, like nursing station, nothing. And, so I am in this room at the very back of this empty wing, and I'm like, what is going on here? And like the room itself is totally empty as well. Like there's an attachment for a computer, is a TV, and then there's like a hospital bed that's made. It's a made hospital bed, and that's it. And like I've always known that like hospital beds are really uncomfortable because everybody says they're incredibly uncomfortable. And they are incredibly uncomfortable. I can now vouch for that. You think for how expensive hospital beds are, they'd be comfier? Yes, absolutely. And I don't understand why. I mean, they're like super hard, and I mean, I understand the not absorbent part, but it makes you like, you know, sweat and stick to yourself. It's fucking gross. But yeah, it's really weird ass experience in this like quiet, dead part of the hospital. It's like fucking creepy. So one thing that you should really learn about medical education and just like medicine in general is that nobody who isn't in your field, and by that oh wow, ouch. By that I mean like your specialty, is going to understand what you're doing. Like my parents, and granted my parents are sort of a special case because they're like the densest people in the world when it comes to things that they don't understand. But they still have no idea what it means when I tell them I'm on 24-hour call. They're like, what do you mean? So are you in the hospital? Like, what's that mean? What do you do? And they'll call me like, you know, they say they like don't call me during the day. Like, they say they don't call me while I'm at work, but they will call me during the day. Like all the time. Like, are you at work? Yeah, I'm at work. I have a job. That's what I do. But yeah, the more general take-home point is, again, people who aren't in medicine don't know what you do for a living at all and have no clue. And it's very, very difficult to educate them about what you're doing. And, you know, even if they're not meaning to, I would be willing to bet that your parents will give you some pushback about, you know, your study hours and stuff. Like, you know, subconsciously. Also plan to get married. Yeah, that might be a bit of a problem if you're living with your parents. Oh, we're just moving in with my parents. It's cheap. So funny story. I actually did that to my wife. So my parents own a duplex that's pretty close to the hospital that I did my residency at. Honey, you're working so hard. Don't you want to stop studying and do XYZ? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm after here, right? Like, you know, they don't think they're being, you know, difficult, but they are. But yeah, my parents own a duplex close to the hospital that I trained at, and so I was like, well, why don't we move into the lower floor? Because it's a quick turnaround, you know, like you match in late March, and you've got to, like, I had orientation in June. So I was like, I don't know, I'm going to take the easy way out on this. And yeah, that turned out to be a really bad idea, because my parents are exceptionally difficult to live with. So we moved out and bought our own house within about a year after that. But sorry, honey. I know you put up with that and should not have. Shouldn't have had to do that. You're living for these stories. where I heinously wrong my wife, you mean? In some fashion? I seem to be pretty good at that. Whether it's just being totally useless while she's like a beast driving to Colorado Springs. Wife a real trooper, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it seems like the best food is always like in some nondescript, unexpected location, right? Or in just like a terrible ass part of town, or both. That's certainly the way it is here. I used to go to a Vietnamese place. I worked at a CVS like straight up in the hood. So the CVS that I worked at was this is the kind of place that it was in. So the CVS I worked at was subsidized by the city to close early because they had too many issues with prostitutes in the store after 8 o'clock. So instead of closing at 10 like all other CVS's do, they closed at 8. Which is awesome. And they usually had an on-duty cop in there from, you know, like 6-ish on. Did they ever try to solicit me? Yeah, once or twice. I was in the pharmacy, so I was kind of in the back of the store as a pharmacy tech. So I missed a lot of that, but yes, I did definitely get that. Did I ever utilize their services? Not that you know about. Hell no. No way, man. That is dirty, dirty, dirty. And actually, oddly enough, that place, Mesob that I mentioned earlier, used to be right by there. They started right by there probably about, well, while I was working there. But anyway, where I was going with this was, like, less than a block away, there was a Vietnamese place that was absolutely fantastic. But they got shut down for health code violations. It was always a joy going in there because no one spoke a word of English. Like, hello was a struggle, you know? Like, nobody spoke any English. But man, the food was freaking delicious. It had rat poop in it, but it was delicious. That was a sacrifice I was willing to make. Ooh, that boy fast. That boy real fast. The secret ingredient, yeah, I mean, it has to be secret or you get your restaurant shut down. But you don't know can't hurt you. Yeah, I didn't really care, honestly. I was like, oh, this pho is delicious. I'm gonna eat this. I don't care what's in it, just don't tell me. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, meat substitutes in general and I are not good friends. Like, I love delicious small animals. Their suffering tastes wonderful. My go-to, my favorite chip ever is no longer made. It was Poor Brothers, Poore Brothers habanero chips. And like, they were available online for years, and I tried to find them, like, probably within the last, like, 2 months or something, and I couldn't find any more bags. It was sad. Very, very sad to see that had come to pass. Those things are freaking fantastic. They're like just the right amount of spicy. I mean, they're not habanero spicy by any stretch. Yeah, the kettle cooked jalapeno chips are good. These were also kettle cooked, but they were like a little spicier and had that like habanero flavor to them. That sort of like mildly smoky sweet habanero flavor. They were absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, so I need to figure out how exactly, like I'm smoking my turkey, but I need to figure out exactly how I'm going to season it. There's a fair amount of options. I don't know if I want to like really lean into the barbecue thing, or if I just kind of want to like smoke it and have it be herbier, or I don't know. Decisions. We just like really 100% decided that was going to be the case this weekend, that it was going to be smoked. I was thinking about roasting it. What to do? Absorb pain. Oh, that didn't go well. You didn't mean to post John. Were you just thinking about John? Just having a moment where John's on your mind. I was cleaning my phone. Uh-huh. Is John your other streamer? Huh? What do I need to know about John? Just something to worry about? You always do this to me. I thought we had a good weekend, and we are talking to John again. Son of a bitch. Yay, I did it. Only one death. Woo! All right, I think I need to go to sleep because I'm working 24 hours tomorrow. Yay! So yeah, I'm Milkman L for everybody watching. I am usually on Wednesdays and Sundays from 8 to 10 p.m. Central. Come out and hang. Hope you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I will be back Wednesday. Let me know what you're doing for Thanksgiving. Join the Discord, watch me on YouTube, do all that fun stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that. So you guys hang in there, take it easy, and I will catch you Wednesday. Peace. Have a good one. Happy holidays.